Welcome to Trails of Enchantment, where we travel and discover the diverse cultures and nature of the Borderland region, where we share the stories of the places, the art, and the people that make up this beautiful land. We're here to preserve and celebrate the uniqueness of the past, share a taste of the present community, and engulf the bright future that awaits. Trails of Enchantment. Let's start on the trail. Our first stop on the trail takes us to Holloman Air Force Base, located outside of Alamogordo, New Mexico, for the Holloman Air Show 2024, where we get a chance to speak to many active duty Air Force pilots and learn about skydiving with the Wings of Blue parachute team.
Generally, we do these air shows every 2 years, so the last one we had was in 2022, but before that we hadn't done one in quite some time. And this year we are so happy to have the U.S. Thunderbirds back, as well as a number of amazing performers and static displays of aircraft. It's free and open to the public, and it's going to be a great day.
Such a privilege to be here performing at the same air show as the Thunderbirds. There's Bill Stein. There's some amazing acts. I'm not going to do justice here telling you how many cool acts. There's B-25 Devil Dog, the F-16 demo team. There are so many amazing acts. F-5s. I mean, I could go on. For me, a boy from Australia, being able to perform in front of this fine crowd, it's such a privilege.
I'm originally from Alamogordo, New Mexico, or Holloman Air Force Base. Graduated high school from Alamogordo High School. Flying yesterday, I met up with my dad, who was leading 2 T-38s out in the airspace. Met him with 2 F-35s. We did some fighting out there in the jets, 2v2, and then got to come back to Holloman Air Force Base as a 4-ship up initial with my dad. Once in a lifetime opportunity, so really cool to get to do that.
Hey, I'm Major Jake Pellizzari. I go by Primo. I'm Thunderbird 4 for the United States Air Force Thunderbirds. And what that means is I fly in the slot position in the Diamond. It's an incredible experience. So the Thunderbirds, we are a selectively manned unit. So what that means is we hand-pick all 135 personnel on our team. And being a part of a team that's hand-selected, we really emulate the mantra of pride, professionalism, and precision. Flying the F-16 is the aircraft you see behind me. So this is a Block 52 F-16 powered by a Pratt & Whitney 229 motor. We're going to be flying 18 inches apart. We're going to be flying 500 to 800 miles an hour, 100 feet off the ground. We're really flying that close. We're really flying that fast. And we're really flying that low. But we got a couple surprises for you during this show. So keep your head on a swivel, and we're honored to be here.
Boss winds 2406, you are clear for takeoff, runway 07. It's showtime!
They're actually really cool. I'm actually learning a lot of real stuff. I want to hopefully work or be on one of these planes one day.
The wings are blue.
So the Wings of Blue was founded by a group of renegade cadet skydivers back in the 1980s, and we are a team based in Colorado Springs at the Air Force Academy. We perform at demonstrations around the world. So we jump every single day at the Academy. We've racked over 400 jumps so far in 2 years. So it's a super awesome experience. We jump all the time, so we get a lot of training that way. During our sophomore year, we are upgraded to instructors and jump masters, and it's just a super awesome experience.
So Civil Air Patrol is kind of like a mini branch of the Air Force. It was actually founded before the Air Force. It's like a junior ROTC for youth ages 12 through 18, and it gives us the opportunity to go and fly aircraft, get our pilot's license.
This has encouraged me that I do want to join the Air Force.
On this stop on the trail, make sure to lace up your hiking boots as we take a hike up to the Gila Cliff Dwellings. Here, we'll learn more about the Mogollon people that once inhabited this land, the way they lived, and what they've left behind for us to see today.
Hi, welcome to the Gila Cliff Dwellings National Monument. You ready to go for a hike? My name is Dana. I'm the lead park ranger here for interpretation. Let's head on out. So just going along the trail, we can see we have some globe mallow here, Gamble's oak as well. These are both edible plants. The globe mallow has some medicinal purposes too. And the variety of plants that are here in this side canyon is one of the reasons why we believed that these people came here in the first place. Water was another attraction for the people who built their houses high in the cliffs above us. They came here during a time known as the Great Drought. And this creek you see down here flows year-round. It has its source about a mile up canyon. And we believe that when the people were living here, this was a water source for them. They could hike down from the cliffs above, gather water, and bring it up to their houses. So here we are at the photo view, and just around the corner here, you can get a look at the cliff dwellings from below. And those who choose to continue hiking will start the 18 flights of stairs. It's about 300 stairs up to the cliff dwellings with nothing to hold on to. Let's go. There's a reason why the rangers at the beginning of the trail tell you to bring water. It gets really hot on this trail. You gotta climb 180 feet, pretty much all in the sun to get up to the top. Sun protection in the form of a hat is always a good idea as well. I hike this trail 1, 2, 3 times a day. I always bring my water. This is Gordon Warwick. He's one of our volunteers here at the Gila Cliff Dwellings. And volunteers in parks are really special. They help parks operate, they do interpretation, they do maintenance. And Gordon here has been coming back year after year.
The environment is wonderful, the people I work with. It's a place I pretty much expect to come back to.
One of these wooden beams behind this wall dates to 1276 Common Era, and that is the earliest cut date we have here for the Gila Cliff Dwellings. And like I said, this stuff is 80% original. That means these stacked stones are exactly the way how the people stacked it almost 750 years ago. There's original mortar, which is a sandy clay that the people gathered from the river, and the wooden beams are original as well. The Gila Cliff Dwellings were established to protect the architecture that you find throughout the caves, which were constructed between 1276 and roughly 1290. And we believe that the people who built the structures were only here maybe 20 to 30 years before moving on. They built a total of 50 rooms, and that contains everything from the habitation spaces, the storage spaces, workspaces, and even ceremonial spaces. Many people have called this mountain valley home. Not only the Mogollon culture that was here, but also the Chiricahua Apache. This would be their traditional homelands, and their oral traditions and stories say that they've been here since forever. Real famous individual would be Geronimo. The Gila Cliff Dwellings operate 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we have a visitor center where you can look at artifacts that were found inside the cliff dwellings, as well as a 20-minute film that plays on the cliff dwellings as well. There's also a bookstore that's ran by our partner WNPA, where visitors can pick up magnets, coffee mugs, books. Well, thanks for hiking with me up to the Gila Cliff Dwellings. You can learn more about this place by visiting our website online. And I hope you enjoyed learning about the people who called this place home. And I hope to see y'all out here sometime.
Down in the heart of San Elizario, Texas, is a multi-generational family-run farm, famous for their cheeses and unique petting zoo. Join us as we explore this fascinating family business, Licon Dairy.
My grandfather started off, taking over his in-laws, making asaderos, starting off buying milk off of local farmers, keeping everything mainly locally. When my grandfather stepped down, my dad was about 30 years old. So he opened this building here now, the newer one. It's been here for almost 22 years. So the older one is gonna be towards the back of the petting zoo, pretty much a small room, like almost the size of a small bedroom. And that was enough for 4 employees, a bunch of milk tanks, and it was just really small. So that's where my dad took over, started getting newer equipment, newer employees, and then we started making different things with our products. We tried to expand the business. My dad did more with the dairy. My brother opened up the restaurant back in 2019. It's gonna be his 5 years going on. Something different so people can spend more time here, have a meal, walk around. My father had the petting zoo going on for 20 years. People are usually coming to Licon Dairy now for the petting zoo. We're building new pens, looking to bring newer animals. We've had buffaloes once. And then over the years, we've had ostriches that my grandfather took care of that are almost going to 20 years old. So those ostriches are still here. We've added, a couple different animals. We've had zebras, longhorns. So it's just slowly started growing over the years, and still now we're still trying to add on different animals. We have new exotic deer looking to bring in. Now I opened up an ice cream shop less than a year ago. So everybody can be around, more family-oriented, families coming in, see the local products that we have from Fabens, Dorneo, all around El Paso, and have a nice meal. Want an ice cream, come by. Want to look at the animals, they're still there, walk around. Now having space where people can actually walk in. Look at our local products, drinks, sodas, chips. Before in the old building, it used to just be through a window, little ding dong, little button you would press, and that was actually next to my grandparents' house. It's special, keeping a legacy that, not many people were lucky to, inherit. And it's an honor being, my grandfather's grandchild. It's, I guess, a legacy that I really want to keep it going from. I've made a choice of leaving, not the same, came back and want to work on the farm. It's something that I fell in love with the passion of being here. I took over most of the farming, so it's a lot of weight on my shoulders, but again, I wouldn't do it for anybody else besides my grandfather. So for our social medias, we do have it just Licon Dairy. Typically right now, the dairy itself and the petting zoo is only from 6 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. If you're looking to be at the restaurant Thursday through Sunday, it's from 11 to 6, 11 to 7, depending on the busyness. And Thursday through Sunday, sometimes the petting zoo might stay open a little bit longer. We extended our ice cream shop hours from Friday to Sunday, now from 11 to 5. So during the winter, some of our hours might change, depending on, the ice cream shop might just be Saturdays and Sundays again. The restaurant will probably stay open most of the time, again, Thursday through Sunday, and the dairy has never changed. We're open even on holidays. But you know, as locals, a lot of people do come out here from generations. We've had people that are in their 80s and 90s, still remembering the old building back in the day, telling us stories. It's beautiful to hear, you know, saying that they remember my grandfather at one time, and it was just nice hearing them.
For the next stop on the trail, we go to the U.S. Mexico border to learn about a historical park that brought two nations together. Learn more about the Chamizal National Park and how two countries found a peaceful boundary agreement.
The history of the park really goes back over hundreds of years for the dispute of the Rio Grande and the border between the United States and Mexico. As the river would grow and change and shift, there would be land that was American land end up in the Mexican side of the river. So lots of history here. So what this park really celebrates is dispute resolution, right? Over 100 years of a dispute over the boundary, you know, Mexico and the United States were able to settle this dispute by sitting down and actually having a resolution, right? When most countries are disputing over a boundary or a border, it usually leads to an armed conflict, and that's why this park is so special, because it talks about that conflict resolution and how, you know, sitting down and talking out your differences and having different viewpoints can lead to what we have now and is celebrated as the American and Mexican border here in El Paso, Texas.
You know, the river had kind of dipped south, and then it made this really kind of crazy loop around here and went that way. You have Juarez right here, you have El Paso right here. So when it would flood, the water would just flood El Paso and Juarez. And so the two countries in 1899 got together and cut a channel and straightened out the river right here. And so then you have this little island of Mexico north of the river. So around the land, they put a fence, which those obelisks that are along the north part of the park, those are the historic fence posts. So those are actual fence posts. There are 27 of them left. They're in their original locations. And then interspersed in those fence posts that were connected by wire.
We do have an original obelisk out front here. The obelisk that you see along the north of the park by Paisano Drive, those are replicas of what those obelisks used to do, but those were actually the markers that were marking the international border between Mexico and the United States.
When the Chamizal Treaty was put into place, instead of having this winding boundary, the river was straightened out a little bit more. And so that left a piece of Mexican land north of the river. And so that land was transferred to the United States, and to make up for it, another section of land that belonged to El Paso to the United States was transferred to Mexico. And it was not disputed, but it was making up for this extra land that was coming to the United States. So on this land, right around here on the east end, you have the port of entry for the Bridge of the Americas. About here you have Chamizal National Memorial, and then this end right here is Bowie High School.
John F. Kennedy started the entire process of finding a resolution to this dispute, and after his assassination, his predecessor took on the effort to finally bring a resolution to this 100-year-old dispute. Right, and then the Chamizal Treaty was actually signed in 1963, and that's where the border was established.
Mexico had a new president, so Gustavo Díaz Ordaz. Johnson was still in office, and so in December of '68, they were ready to open the channel, which is named for the Adolfo López Mateos River Channel. And this box was there, it was just ceremonial, it wasn't connected to anything. But upriver, they had an earthen dam, like dirt dam, and they had someone with binoculars and they were watching, and when the two presidents pushed the buttons, they were supposed to blow up the dirt dam, and then the water would rush down the channel, and something happened that it didn't ignite just right. It didn't destroy the earthen dam, and so they had to get in really quick with like excavators and stuff and kind of move away the dirt, and finally the water started trickling down the channel.
After the treaty was signed and the river channel was going to be the international border, the United States ended up giving approximately 500 acres back to Mexico, which is hugely celebrated now in October for gaining land back that had been Mexican and American and eventually back into Mexico hands. So yes, El Parque Chamizal is our sister park in Ciudad Juárez.
So you can go to nps.gov/Chamizal, and from there you have our site in English, and there's also a link to our website in Spanish as well.
This visitor center where we're in right now is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for the public. And the park grounds are actually open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. year round. We're open to the public just because if you're coming here on a Sunday or a Monday and the visitor center isn't open, we have plenty of park area for you to go out and enjoy. Bring your family, and this has become a gathering place for people to come out here as one of the main green spaces in El Paso and here in Juárez as well.
For our final stop on the trail, we head over to Deming for the 45th annual Duck Races. The Duck Races bring people from all over the state and the country to enjoy great food, a town parade, carnival rides, and of course, an all-out family and duck-centric multi-day event.
It changes a lot, but it's just like nobody really knows about Deming too much, and it's just special.
This is my first duck race. I didn't expect anything like this, but this is huge. It brings together so many people, right? Like you have the vendors, but you have the float as well, people interested in all sort of things, soccer, food, games. Of course, the kids love the candy, right? So this is beautiful, just having the whole community together.
I've been running this horseshoe tournament for about maybe 24 years. I want to bring back the horseshoe back into the Deming community. I like to bring it back and keep it going. I've got teams from Farmington, Cuba, Gallup, Ruidoso from the Muscalero Reservation, Arizona, Globe, Arizona. They all come in, Tucson. They come to play. People look forward to this duck race, and we get people from every state to stop by and visit, you know. There's visitors from every state that come by here.
Go! Oh, we got some ducks swimming. Oh, you gotta splash the ducks. Oh, close. It's a close one. Go. And in 3, 2, 1, go.
The duck races has been going on for 45 years, and it started with a group of cronies that were drinking beer wondering what to do, how to bring in some entertainment, and they thought, well, why don't we race a duck? And that's how they started. And it grew from just a little dry track that you see back here to the wet track, and it's gone from maybe 5,000 people up to almost 30,000 people is what we expect this year. It's different every single year. We do a different theme, we have different people, and it's just a lot of fun.
It's our biggest event in our community, a biggest event in the region, one of the biggest events. And, you know, I think what they look forward to is just coming out, having a great time with the family, some family fun. We've got the carnival, we've got the duck racing, we've got a beer and wine garden, cooling tent. Very important with these temperatures out here in the heat to make sure you're staying hydrated and cooled. I think the community just looks forward to having a good time with the family and having something locally to do.
It's hot out here. The rides are fun.
I like the rides. I don't really like that one.
This is, it's a classic. It brings together the community. People come from miles around, as crazy as it is to participate and just be a part of everybody coming together to experience this. Being here is kind of a return home for us. It's a chance to see all of our regular customers, people that our son goes to school with, people that have just supported us over the years. So the duck races are special for us.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Lane 3, first place. Lane 2, second place. Congratulations.
All locally produced programming is available online at krwg.org and youtube.com. Thanks for joining us on Trails of Enchantment. We'll see you next time on the trail.